Hey guys, how are you? It's Patsy, back again with another video. I usually talk about pro wrestling companies on this channel because I love going to wrestling shows that are in Sydney, and I am Sydney based and I attend a lot of wrestling shows. I also talk about women's issues and things like sexual harassment, domestic violence and things like that, and try and get it to stop. I kind of just want to sort of skip ahead to that part because I was out at dinner tonight and something kind of annoyed me tonight. As it normally comes up with men, and I feel like it's just sort of a repeated conversation that women keep talking about, and we continue to talk about on TikTok and all that stuff, and just nothing seems to change. It's usually something with the older generation as well, but yeah, it still pops up now and then, and it just really annoys me when it happens, because it doesn't seem like we're moving forward. It just sort of seems that there's still misogynistic kind of men out there that are sort of still trying to bring up this behavior to intimidate and harass and make women feel useless and less and things like that. And it's really annoying. So I was out at dinner tonight. I went up to the bistro to make an order, and probably standing in a line in a queue. It wasn't that busy. It was a queue of maybe about like 20 people, and in that queue there was just three men that wouldn't stop staring at me, and it was just older men, and it just it's not a big deal, but it just kind of annoyed me because it's just, I don't know what you're looking at. It's just sort of really annoying, especially when they're standing next to wives and things like that, and it's just women just trying to go about their day, and they're just sort of getting harassed by men, as always. And it really makes me think that, like, if these men aren't really going to change, like, we keep sort of pushing forward the conversation to try and change in society, and trying to stop sexual harassment and things like that, but these things continue to happen, and there is a very wide range of pedophilia out there. So just to sort of see men that are sort of uncomfortable to just stare at you and make you uncomfortable, like, I just think that we should really be sort of taking these things a lot more seriously, and just sort of keeping away children from this men and these kind of men, and just sort of be more careful, and just address it when it comes up. It's just it's really annoying. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of bring that up. A couple of other things that have happened this week as well, and also a couple of weeks ago, which is sort of related. I did mention that no, I didn't. About a month ago, I think, maybe a few weeks ago, me and some friends went out to dinner, and we were at the Wentworth Hotel. Highly recommend this restaurant. It's a really great place to go. It's one of my favorite restaurants, and I have a couple of bad experiences there with men, but it never really stops me from going back to these places that I really love. Me and my friends were there. Me and a girlfriend got up to go to the bistro to make an order, and it was just me and her in the bistro, and this other man comes up next to us, and he just wouldn't stop staring at us, and we're just looking at the menu, just sort of trying to decide what to get, and he was just sort of intensely staring at us for a really long time. Then he came up behind us, sort of pretending to be in the queue after we made our order, and left. He left as well. He didn't actually need to make an order. He just wanted to stand behind us. Later, we went over to the bar, me and my friend. So same thing, the same man came and stood behind us. And it's one of those things where, you sort of see those girls on TikTok where they just sort of keep recording the same man following them around. And, obviously I didn't do this. I didn't really know that he was going to continue to follow us. But we go up to the bar and order our drinks, and again, once we walked away from the bar, he didn't actually need to make an order. He just went up and asked the bartender for water, and she said no, it's just in the corner. And then he just went, pretend to get some water, and walked away. Later, me and my friend go to sit down, and we're sitting together and just just having dinner, and he just sort of comes and stands at our table and just sort of continues to stare at us for the rest of the night. And yeah, so that was another day. Later this week, a similar thing happens. I'm at the Audi, and this is 2 days ago. It's just this man that wouldn't stop following me around Audi. He was wearing an orange shirt, and he had a son with him that was wearing a red shirt. I think it was like a Thomas the Tank Engine or bluish shirt or something that he had on, and he's holding hands with his son, and he's talking really loudly, and he's following me around Audi. So I go up to pay from what I was buying, and you know, the man was right behind me in the queue. He's standing very close to me. He's extremely close to me, and I'm sort of trying to step away from him, and I go to pay, but I actually couldn't pay for my groceries because he was standing right in front of me. So I actually had to sort of move to around him to tap my credit card, and I actually said, "Excuse me," and you know, he said, "Oh, it's all right," you know, just being a smartass. And after I tapped my credit card, I just really wasn't in the mood to argue. I just wanted to sort of get out at Audi, but because I was giving him attitude, you know, we know what happens when you give men attitude. They try and harass you even more. So I started sprinting out of Audi, and he's sort of running up behind me. I'm sort of like power walking out, and then I start walking down the escalators, and I can hear his voice sort of still talking to his kid. And I think the funniest thing was sort of looking back and seeing him drag his kid down the escalator. So he's running after me. His kid is like sort of running, has no idea, you know, what's going on. And you know, just another one of these men who say that they love their families and they love their kids, but here you are holding hands with your son and you're chasing after another girl down the escalator, and like, that's just really pathetic. I actually wanted to talk about IWA in this video. Just wanted to sort of mention the show that was on in September 2024. IWA actually didn't have a show, not that I saw, but yeah, IWA is a big pro wrestling company, and it's a really great show. I do recommend. It's got some really great wrestlers, and yeah, it's a great show if you ever want to check it out. Check out the company. They do a lot of shows in Sydney as well. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to mention on this channel is, obviously I was going to bring this up, is 13. If you haven't already heard about him, he's a pro wrestler in Sydney that was arrested for I think 2, maybe 3 charges of rape to women. What I'm hearing is that it had to take 3 allegations coming forward before something actually got done about this. And I know this is probably damaging to sort of talk about, you know, in the wrestling industry, but he wasn't involved in any wrestling company that I know of. It is a bit sort of a shock to me, because this is the first time that I've heard about a pro wrestler that did this. Yet there's probably many. There was obviously, you know, there's many that would do things like this around, not just in the wrestling community, but in all communities, in all places. But this is the first time that there was someone that was sort of in the same industry, and at one point in the same building as me, in close proximity as me as well. And you know, I did get the vibe that this guy was a little bit creepy. It did sort of feel that way. It's not just the wrestling community that things like this happen, but yeah, it's never really happened in a company that I've been with, and I can guarantee that the wrestling shows that I go to are safe places that don't have things like this happening. And it's not really shocking that or surprising that I think that a lot of wrestling companies did sort of know about this, which is why he wasn't sort of booked in a lot of places. I'm not too sure, but also not a surprise that he was at AWS, because AWS, Australian Wrestling Superstars, is actually known for keeping men around for inappropriate and bad behaviour, and there had been allegations, not as serious as this one, where women have come forward about men at that company, and things like that have, it's never really, nothing ever really got done. And it's sort of things like this that will continue to happen if they just don't take women seriously. And you know, you sort of hear about things like this, and it continues to get let slide until something like this happens. And yeah, there was someone who got caught and arrested. Yeah, so it was just very shocking to hear about, and I don't really have a lot of information about it just yet, but when I do, I'll keep you updated. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Stick around for more videos, and yeah, if you see a wrestling company that you're interested in Sydney, attend those companies. I'll see you for the next video.